Are you ready to ace your next technical interview and prove your expertise in building scalable, secure web APIs? In this video, we will cover web API interview questions and answers, RESTful services interview preparation. Master your next technical interview with these top 30 web API interview questions. In this video, we dive deep into 30 essential web API interview questions covering REST architecture, ASP.NET Core, security, performance, and design patterns. Whether you are a junior developer or a seasoned architect, these questions are designed to simulate real-world technical screens. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more career-boosting technical content. Which of the following REST constraints ensures that a client does not need to know anything about the structure of the server's data besides the entry point? Option A, statelessness. Option B, layered system. Option C, uniform interface. HATEOAS. Option D, cacheability. The correct answer is C. HATEOAS. Hypermedia as the engine of application state is a component of the REST application architecture that distinguishes it from other network application architectures. With HATEOAS, a client interacts with a network application whose application servers provide information dynamically via hypermedia. A REST client needs little to no prior knowledge about how to interact with an application or server beyond a generic understanding of hypermedia. This promotes decoupling between the client and the server. Which HTTP method is considered idempotent and is typically used to update an existing resource or create a new one if the ID is known? Option A, post. Option B, put. Option C, patch. Option D, get. The correct answer is B. The put method is idempotent, meaning that making multiple identical requests has the same effect as making a single request. It is used to replace a resource entirely or create it if it doesn't exist, unlike post, which is not idempotent and usually results in a new resource being created every time. Put ensures that if you send the same payload multiple times to the same URI, the state of the server remains the same after the first call. In ASP.NET Core Web API, what is the default lifetime of a service registered using services add scoped? Option A, created once per application lifetime. Option B, created every time it is requested. Option C, created once per HTTP request. Option D, created only when the user logs in. The correct answer is C. Scoped lifetime services, add scoped, are created once per client request connection. Within the same HTTP request, the same instance of the service is shared across all components, like controllers and internal services. This is ideal for database contexts. EF Core, where you want to maintain a single transaction or state throughout the processing of one specific web request. Which attribute is used in ASP.NET Core Web API to define a root prefix at the controller level? Option A, root prefix. Option B, HTTP root. Option C, root. Option D, base root. The correct answer is C. In ASP.NET Core, the root attribute is used to define the template for the URL. When applied at the class controller level, it sets a base root for all actions within that controller. For example, root API controller quote will automatically route requests to the name of the controller, minus the controller suffix. Note: root prefix was used in older versions of Web API, OAuth system, web, but ASP.NET Core unified this into the root attribute. What header is used by a client to tell the Web API which media type, JSON, XML, it can process? Option A, content type. Option B, accept. Option C, authorization. Option D, user agent. The correct answer is B. The accept header is used for content negotiation. It allows the client to specify which format, MIME types, it expects back from the server. If a client sends accept application XML, the Web API will attempt to serialize the response in XML format. Conversely, the content type header is used to tell the server the format of the data being sent in the request body. Which of the following best describes the audience claim in a JWT, JSON Web Token? Option A, the entity that issued the token. Option B, the subject user the token represents. Option C, the intended recipient or service that should accept the token. Option D, the expiration timestamp of the token. The correct answer is C. The AUD audience claim identifies the recipients that the JWT is intended for. Each service that receives a JWT should verify that the AUD claim matches its own identifier. If the audience does not match, the service should reject the token. This prevents a token generated for service A from being used to access service B maliciously. Which HTTP status code should a Web API return when a resource is successfully created via a post request? Option A, 200 OK. Option B, 201 created. Option C, 204 no content. Option D, 400 bad request. The correct answer is B. HTTP 201 created is the standard response for a successful post request that results in the creation of a new resource. Typically, the response should also include a location header pointing to the URL of the newly created resource and the resource itself in the response body. In the ASP.NET Core pipeline, what is the primary purpose of the next delegate? Option A, to terminate the request and return a response. Option B, to pass the request to the next middleware in the pipeline. Option C, to restart the request from the first middleware. Option D, to log the exception to the database. The correct answer is B. In ASP.NET Core middleware, each component has the option to pass the request to the next component in the sequence by calling the next delegate. If a middleware does not call next single quote, it short-circuits the pipeline, meaning subsequent middleware and the final controller action will not be executed. This is often used for authorization or caching middleware. What is the primary benefit of using DTOs, data transfer objects, in a web API? Option A, to increase the speed of the database queries. Option B, to hide internal domain model details and reduce payload size. Option C, to automatically encrypt the data during transit. Option D, to replace the need for an ORM-like entity framework. The correct answer is B. DTOs, data transfer objects. act as a contract between the API and the client. They allow you to expose only the necessary properties to the client, hiding sensitive or unnecessary database fields, like passwords or internal IDs. This also helps in versioning the API and reducing the size of the JSON payload, leading to better performance. Which caching technique involves storing a version of a resource on the client's side and checking with the server if it has changed using an eTag? Option A, in-memory caching. Option B, distributed caching. Option C, conditional get, validation-based caching. Option D, output caching. The correct answer is C. Conditional get uses headers like eTag, entity tag, or if modified since the server provides a unique eTag for a resource version. On the next request, the client sends that eTag back. If the resource hasn't changed, the server returns a 304 not modified status without a body, saving bandwidth and processing time. This is known as validation-based caching. The statelessness constraint in REST implies that Option A, the server must store client session data. Option B, the client must store all state, and each request must contain all necessary information. Option C, the database cannot have state. Option D, the API must use cookies for authentication. The correct answer is B. Statelessness means the server does not store any client context between requests. Each request from any client contains all the information necessary to service the request, e.g., authentication tokens, parameters. This improves scalability because any server in a load-balanced cluster can handle any request. Which of the following helps prevent cross-site request forgery, CSRF, in a web API environment? Option A, enabling CORS with a wildcard. Asterisk. Option B, using JWT in the authorization header instead of cookies. Option C, disabling HTTPS. Option D, using only GET methods for all operations. The correct answer is B. CSRF attacks rely on browsers automatically sending cookies with requests to a domain. By using bearer tokens, JWT, in the authorization header, the browser does not automatically attach the credential. The client-side JavaScript must explicitly add the header, making it much harder for a malicious site to perform an action on behalf of the user. What is the standard HTTP status code for unauthorized access? Option A, 400. Option B, 401. Option C, 403. Option D, 404. The correct answer is B. 401 unauthorized is used when authentication is required and has failed or has not yet been provided. It specifically means unauthenticated. 403 forbidden, on the other hand, means the user is authenticated but does not have the necessary permissions to access the resource. Which registration method should be used for a service that maintains a global configuration shared across all users and requests? Option A, add transient. Option B, add scoped. Option C, add singleton. Option D, add persistent. The correct answer is C. Add singleton creates a single instance of the service when it is first requested and reuses that same instance everywhere the service is required for the lifetime of the application. This is ideal for configuration objects or caching services that need to be shared globally. In REST, which HTTP method is traditionally used for partial updates of a resource? Option A, put. Option B, post. Option C, patch. Option D, update. The correct answer is C. While put is used for full updates, replacing the entire entity, patch is designed for partial updates. With patch, the client only sends the fields that need to be changed, reducing data transfer and avoiding the need to send the full resource state. What is the purpose of iAction filter in ASP.NET Core? Option A, to handle global exceptions. Option B, to run code before and after an action method executes. Option C, to configure the database connection string. Option D, to map routes to controllers. The correct answer is B. Action filters allow you to perform logic right before and right after a specific action method is executed. They are useful for tasks like validating model state globally, logging execution time, or modifying the result of an action. They are part of the filter pipeline. What does a pre-flight request in CORS use as its HTTP method? Option A, GET. Option B, POST. Option C, OPTIONS. Option D, HEAD. The correct answer is C. A pre-flight request is an options request sent by the browser to the server to check if the actual request is safe to send. This happens when a cross-origin request uses non-simple methods like put, delete, or custom headers. The server must respond with appropriate access control headers to allow the subsequent actual request. Which format is the most widely used for Web API data exchange due to its lightweight nature? Option A, XML. Option B, JSON. Option C, YAML. Option D, BSON. The correct answer is B. JSON, JavaScript Object Notation, is the industry standard for web APIs. It is more compact than XML, easier for JavaScript to parse, and human-readable, making it the preferred choice for mobile and web applications. What is attribute routing? Option A, defining routes in a central startup.cs file. Option B, defining routes directly on the controller or action using attributes. Option C, automatically generating routes based on folder structure. Option D, a way to secure routes using roles. The correct answer is B. Attribute routing uses root, quote, attributes to define the URLs. It provides more control and makes it easier to see the URL structure alongside the code. It is highly recommended for web APIs to handle complex URL patterns that are difficult to express with convention-based routing. In OAuth2, which flow is typically used for server-to-server communication without a user involved? Option A, authorization code flow. Option B, implicit flow. Option C, client credentials flow. Option D, resource owner password flow. The correct answer is C. The client credentials flow is used when the client, your application, needs to access its own resources or interact with another service in the background. Without the context of a specific user, The application authenticates itself using its client ID and secret to obtain a token. Which is a common way to version a web API? Option A. URL path, e.g., v1 products. Option B. Query string, e.g., products, v equals 1. Option C. Custom header, e.g., XAPI version 1. Option D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. API versioning can be achieved through multiple strategies. URL versioning is the most explicit, query string versioning is flexible, and header versioning, or media type versioning, keeps the URL clean. The choice depends on the specific requirements of the project and its clients. Which of these is used to handle model validation errors automatically in ASP.NET Core? Controllers marked with API controller. Option A. Manual, if model state is valid, checks. Option B. Automatic 400 bad request response. Option C. Automatic 500 internal server error. Option D. Ignoring the errors and proceeding. The correct answer is B. When a controller is decorated with the API controller attribute, ASP.NET Core automatically performs model validation. If the model is invalid, it returns a 400 bad request with a problem details object containing the errors, eliminating the need for boilerplate if model state is valid code in every action. What does the S in REST stand for? Option A. Secure. Option B. State. Option C. Service. Option D. Simple. The correct answer is B. REST stands for Representational State Transfer. It refers to the idea that a client can interact with a resource by transferring representations of that resource's state, like JSON or XML, back and forth. Which HTTP method should be used to delete a resource? Option A. Remove. Option B. Delete. Option C. Post. Option D. Drop. The correct answer is B. The delete method is standard for removing resources in a RESTful API. Like put, it is idempotent, meaning calling delete on the same resource multiple times should result in the same state, the resource being gone, and generally the same response code, e.g., 204 no content. What is response compression in Web API? Option A. Reducing the number of properties in a JSON object. Option B. Using gzip or Brotli to reduce the size of the HTTP response body. Option C. Converting JSON to a binary format. Option D. Minifying the C# code. The correct answer is B. Response compression is a technique where the server compresses the payload, usually using gzip or Brotli algorithms, before sending it to the client. This significantly reduces the amount of data transferred over the network, leading to faster load times, especially for large JSON responses. In JWT, the signature part is used to Option A. Encrypt the payload so it cannot be read. Option B. Verify that the sender is who they say they are and that the message wasn't changed. Option C. Store user roles. Option D. Speed up the token processing. The correct answer is B. The signature is created by taking the encoded header, the encoded payload, a secret, and the algorithm specified in the header. Its purpose is to ensure the token has not been tampered with. If the payload is modified, the signature will no longer match. Which tool is commonly used to generate interactive API documentation automatically from Web API code? Option A, Postman. Option B, Swagger, OpenAPI. Option C, Fiddler. Option D, Wireshark. The correct answer is B. Swagger, now part of the OpenAPI specification, is the industry standard for documenting APIs. In ASP.NET Core, packages like Swashbuckle can automatically generate a UI that allows developers to see available endpoints, required parameters, and even test the API directly from the browser. What is the repository pattern typically used for in a Web API project? Option A, to handle HTTP requests directly. Option B, to decouple the data access logic from the business logic and controllers. Option C, to manage the front-end routing. Option D, to encrypt data in the database. The correct answer is B. The repository pattern acts as a layer between the business logic and the data access layer. Like EF Core, this makes the code more testable. Via mocking, allows for easier swapping of data sources, and ensures that the controller doesn't need to know the details of how data is queried. What status code should be returned if a client sends a request in a format, like XML, that the server does not support? Option A, 400 bad request. Option B, 404 not found. Option C, 406 not acceptable. Option D, 415 unsupported media type. The correct answer is C. 406 not acceptable is returned when the server cannot produce a response matching the list of acceptable values defined in the client's accept header. If the client sends data in a format the server doesn't understand, in the request body, the server returns 415 unsupported media type. Which of the following is a disadvantage of microservices compared to a monolithic API? Option A, difficult to scale individual components. Option B, increased complexity in deployment and inter-service communication. Option C, codebase is too large to manage. Option D, only one technology stack can be used. The correct answer is B. While microservices offer scalability and flexibility, they introduce significant complexity, managing distributed transactions, ensuring network reliability between services, and handling complex deployments, like service discovery, are major challenges not found in simpler monolithic architectures. That concludes our top 30 Web API interview questions. We've covered everything from the basics of REST to advanced security and performance concepts. If you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your fellow developers. Subscribe to stay updated with more technical interview prep. For a complete set of practice exams and in-depth certification prep, check out the full course link in the description below.